First off, thank you for signing up to do this program. I'm going to run through some quick questions that I might get from the pilot group that did this program, and also some questions I got regarding exercises. So I've tried to make this program as self-explanatory as possible. So it's 3 days. You'll see in the foreword, like, be real with yourself. Are you a beginner to the gym? Are you intermediate? Or are you advanced? Everyone can progress off this program. Like, you could put the world's strongest man on this program, and if you put in effort, like any program, he's going to get some results. Of course, he'd be probably lifting a 200-pound dumbbell for squats, whereas someone who's advanced might do their goblet squats with 50 kilos for 5 reps. So you'll get out of this what you put in. That being said, if you are a beginner, ease into the program. If you are intermediate, go hard at the program, but still ease into it. Whereas if you've been lifting for a while, this is something new for you. You can do the 3 days, and then you might add in a day of 5x5 back squat and some accessory arm work. So take from this program what you will, stay on it for 6 weeks, gradually increase the weight from week to week. You shouldn't need a deload with this program. I've got it here in front of me. You'll see little slides pop up here, and that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm going over. So let's go into it. Make sure you've read the foreword, then you've probably found this video, so you might be watching it. We'll click on day 1. Let me move this here so it looks like I'm addressing you guys. So 5x5 goblet squats. With goblet squats, if you do have poor ankle mobility and you find that your back's rounding when you're trying to hit depth, just grab some small weight plates and elevate your heels. So you'll just have your heels on the weight plates, have the weight here, so you'll be holding that just directly under your chin, and then you'll sink down slowly. So with all this, for tempo, you want to sort of go 2 seconds down on the lowering, a brief pause at the bottom so you're not bouncing back up, and then sort of stand the weight up as quick as you can. Or example, for a push-up, 1, 2 on the way down, brief pause, push for 1 on the way up. So goblet squats 5x5, then you'll go into a push-up variation, and you guys know if you click on the exercise itself, you'll find a quick YouTube demonstration of me doing the exercise. So you'll go to push-up variations. You'll see in the YouTube video that there are a few different variations, judging from the beginner level to the advanced. You can have weight on your back if you're more advanced. So if you are going to put weight on your back, make sure you hit 3 sets of 12 at a given weight before you increase that weight. Like if you're putting a 10 kilo plate on your back, do 3 sets of 12 before you progress to a 15 kilo plate, and you might do 12, 10, 8. And then the following week you do 12, 12, 10. And then the following week at 15, you might hit 12, 12, 12, and then you progress to the 20 kilo weight plate. So that's how you would progress the push-ups. Underhand lat pull down, pretty self-explanatory. I don't want you guys driving into too much extension, as in arcing your back and driving your chest up. You want to stay relatively upright in the spine, don't lean back too far from the hips, and then pulling down in front. So you want to feel lats there. Kneeling landmine press, pretty self-explanatory. If you don't have access to a landmine, just DM me and I'll give you a different exercise depending on what you've got access to. Again, make sure you're not going into too much extension there, so you want to lean slightly forward and keep those elbows in front as you're pressing through. Okay, then plank just one set, max time. Make sure you're not loading your back. So elbows in front, driving down, so driving the ribs forward, bringing the glutes, so tilting the hips under, so your glutes are engaged, and making sure you're nice and straight, so from your shoulders through your hips to your ankles. So to maybe do that side onto a mirror. And that's just mind over matter. Know when your limit is, so you don't want to blow your back out doing plank, which a lot of people do. So you don't want to be arcing too much when you're doing plank. Just try and mimic what I'm doing in the video. And then if you feel this session isn't hard enough, just go crazy on the cardio. Like pick a pretty sweet cardio machine, whatever's safe. If you've done a lot of rowing, do that. If you want to do a bit of running, do that, whatever you want. Okay, moving on to day 2, trap bar deadlift. Again, we want to keep that pretty neutral spine. When you set up, you want your shoulders over your wrist, so I don't want you too much bend through your knees, so your shoulders are sitting back from your wrist. That way you'll be trying to mimic a squat. This is a deadlift, so you want to be driving through the hips, and just make sure when you finish tall, you're not finishing tall and then leaning back and driving your hips through. That'll load your back as well. So you can watch my video there. 5x5, if you're advanced, you probably would have done some trap bar before, so this is your cue to go for it. If you're a beginner, maybe you just start with the barbell and just feel out the exercise, so make sure you're feeling it in the right areas. Next, hook lying bench press. Make sure the back's nice and flat. Dig the heels into the bench, or if you have super long legs, put like a small other bench in at the end of the bench you're bench pressing off, so you can have your ankles and heels on that. So you want to pull a bit of tension into the bench just so you're feeling your hamstrings, not so they're burning, and then it's just a regular bench press. So 4 sets of 10 there. Single leg press, whatever leg press you have access to, again, pretty self-explanatory. Try and hit a comfortable depth that's comfortable for you. Let's make it a reasonable depth, but don't load up and do half reps. Like, I'd rather the weight light, feel out the movement, so you're not wasting your time on that exercise. Then you go into a dumbbell row. This is more of a lat focused row, so you'll sort of start with the weight suspended, elbow in front of shoulder, elbow in front of shoulder, wrist in front of elbow, so a nice straight arm, and then you're gonna sweep the weight into your hip. So you're sweeping down like that, so you'll feel your lats. And then again, so 2 seconds on the way down, and then that would be 1 second up and have a hold at the top. Then you'll go into tricep rope extension. Everyone's done this, pretty straightforward. Just watch the video, and that's how I like to do it. And then you've got med ball slam, so this is a bit of conditioning. So 4 sets of 20. I like the dead ball. Those are the sand balls, because then if you throw it down, if you use a regular med ball with air in it, it'll come back up and hit you in the face. So that can be subbed out for like battle ropes, 20 slams, or if you don't have that, just add in some conditioning or cardio of your choice. But ideally you'll do those dead ball slams. Most gyms have them now. So 4x20, read the notes, and you'll get your technique there. Okay, moving on to day 3, static wall for reference lunge. Not a lot of you guys would have done these. The reason I like this exercise is it torches your quads. Make sure, again, you up nice and tall. You're not sticking your bum back, so your hips are through. You're putting pressure through the back foot, pushing into the wall. I'd start body weight on these no matter how advanced you are, just to make sure you're feeling out the movement and you're not loading up your knees too much, and then you're just torso staying tall as you ascend up and down. Alternate lying dumbbell press, watch the video, pretty self-explanatory. Hammer curls, everyone's done it, just don't cheat your form. And then tricep extensions and a single arm Z press. With the Z press, make sure when you're pressing up, you're not driving your head through. So as you'll see, and I should have gone over this earlier, this program is A1, A2, and then B1, B2, B3, and then C1. So all that means, and you'll notice this on the other programs, A1 means you do that exercise by itself. So you do 4 sets of 10 each side. And then in between sets, you'll do alternate lying dumbbell press. So you go from the static wall reference lunge into the alternate lying set. So you got 4 rounds of both of those. Then you'll move into the next 3 exercises. You'll do those as a circuit. So hammer curls, tricep extension, Z press, and then C1 by itself, you do cardio, which is intervals. And if you go back to day 2, it's just, you do each exercise by itself. So it goes A1, you do 5x5 trap bar, then you move on to the hook lying bench press, 4 sets of 10, then you move on to the leg press, single leg, 4 sets of 12 each leg, so on and so forth, and that's the same for day 1. Okay, and then if you look above the program, it says for your warm-up, select 2 of the following exercises from the drop-down, perform 2 to 3 rounds of 10 to 15 exercises. If you're someone who is likely to fry their back, I'd do the hip extensions and the breathing hamstrings, so you can click those. Then that'll update, then you go to warm-up exercises and you'll see a description of the exercises there. So, and you can also go to our YouTube link and see me do the exercises. So if you have any questions, my email is in the program, and you should have my email if you have access to this program. I'll write it in, and yeah, 6 weeks, go for it, push yourself, let me know your results. The big exercises we're looking to improve on would be the goblet squats. I want to get people nice and strong, and then the trap bar deadlift. You can make this program as hard as you want. Like if you are someone who's super strong, like for myself, for goblet squats, I'd be trying to build towards like a 55 kilo dumbbell, and that'd fry me if you're not sort of bouncing out of the hole and rushing the squats. And then you could move on to like 30 kilos on your back for push-ups. That's going to be challenging, especially if you're controlling those reps. And then cardio, if you go all out for 10 minutes of cardio, that'll fry anyone, no matter if you're Mo Farah running for 10 minutes all out, or if you're just someone here who goes for a 10-minute jog, and that might fry you. So caters for all levels. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.